Hello, Jay here. Welcome to Intermediate Guitar Chapter 10. Okay, we're going to keep exploring our bar chords in every key. Today we're going to talk about the key of D sharp. We're going to do major bar chords and minor bar chords. I want to point out that D sharp enharmonically is E flat, so we're always going to be doing two different sort of keys at the same time as we go into our accidentals here with our sharps and flat keys. Okay, let's go ahead and do a D sharp major bar chord. Now this is going to be the same shape we've used before on the 5th string or the A string. This chord, I've got my index finger on the 6th fret on the 5th string. I'm going to bar with my ring finger and get the 8th frets on my 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. I'm going to make some contact with my index finger to mute my low 6th string. And then I'm going to make some contact and arch out of my bar chord and mute my 1st string with my ring finger. And there it is. D sharp major bar chord. Okay, now I'm going to give you some mini versions of this bar chord. For mini number 1, I'm going to just have my ring finger on the 8th fret 3rd string, pinky's on the 8th fret 2nd string, index is on the 6th fret 1st string. And then for mini number 2, I'm going to add my middle finger to the 8th fret 4th string. Okay, let's go to D sharp minor. This is going to be that same shape we've been using on our 5th string. Now I have my index finger on the 6th fret 5th string, ring fingers on the 8th fret 4th string, pinkies on the 8th fret 3rd string, middle fingers on the 7th fret 2nd string, and then barring with my index to get the 1st string on my 6th fret. I'm also going to make that contact and mute my low 6th string. And there's your D sharp minor bar chord. Okay, now here's a couple minis. For D sharp minor mini number 1, I'm going to have my ring finger on the 8th fret 3rd string, middles on the 7th fret 2nd string, and then index is on the 6th fret 1st string. And then for mini number 2, I'm going to swap my pinky where my ring was. Now my ring is on the 8th fret 4th string, pinky goes to the 8th fret 3rd string, and then middle still on the 7th fret 2nd string, index is still on the 6th fret 1st string. And then with all these mini chords, I recommend when you strum, just be selective and only strum the strings that you're fretting. Okay, this chapter's strum pattern is going to feature 2 beats of 16th notes and 2 beats of 8th notes. When you see the box without a bottom, that's a down strum, and an arrow pointing down is an up strum. Okay, we're going to have 16th notes on beat 1, and I recommend a down, up for that. Beats 2 and 3 will be 8th notes, just 2 down strums, and then again 16th notes on beat 4 with the down, up. Here's the pattern without a chord. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll just be playing each of these one time, but I recommend to repeat them all 8 to 12 times. Check out your different tempos, slow, medium, and fast. Okay, for number 1, we're going to go 4 bars of D sharp major, and also just want to remind that D sharp is the same note as E flat, so we're actually playing E flat 2, but we're just referring to it as a D sharp. Okay, here comes 4 bars with our pattern on a D sharp major. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 E and a... I recommend to incorporate a metronome. I'm going to have my click at 60 beats a minute, and here comes number 1 with the click. 1, 2, 3, and 4 E and a... We're going to go 4 bars of a D sharp minor. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 E and a... Here's number 2 a little faster. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 E and a... For number 3, we're going to have an 8-bar progression. We're going to go 4 bars of D sharp major into 4 bars of D sharp minor. 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 E and a. For number 4, we're going to go 2 bars of D sharp major into 2 bars of D sharp minor. 1, 2, 3, and 4 E and a. For number 5, we're going to go 1 bar of D sharp major into 1 bar of D sharp minor, and then repeat that again for bars 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 E and a. Okay, for number 6 and beyond, we're going to incorporate some chords from previous chapters and also bring in some rhythms we've been talking about. Okay, so for number 6, we're going to go 1 bar of D sharp major with our normal pattern. We'll have a whole note rest on bar 2. We won't play anything for those 4 beats. We're going to switch it to a B major, and we're going to do a whole note on bar 3. That'll be a chord lasting for 4 beats, and then normal pattern on bar 4. For your B major bar chord, we could just do our major bar chord, same shape we did on D sharp, but now we're going to be based off of our 2nd fret on the 5th string. So now I have my index finger on the 2nd fret A string. I've got my ring finger barring the 4th frets on my 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, and then muting my 1st and 6th string. I also want to point out that you could do a B major also based off of your 7th fret on the low 6th string with your major shape, but I'll be doing this bar chord off of the 2nd fret on the 5th string. And at this point, you're going to have some options depending on how high up the neck you want to play some of your chords, but you can definitely swap some of these off of the 6th string or the 5th string depending on where you'd like to play them. Okay, here comes number 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4 E and a. Rest, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's take a look at number 7. We're going to start off with the D sharp minor, and we'll have a half note for the first 2 beats, and then we'll go into our pattern starting on beat 3. We'll have normal pattern on bar 2. We're going to switch it to an E minor, and we'll have normal pattern on bar 3, and then normal pattern up to beats 3 and 4 for bar 4, where we'll have a half note rest where we won't play anything for those last 2 beats. Okay, now for your E minor bar chord, all I'm going to do is just switch my same minor bar chord up a half step. So now I've got my index finger on the 7th fret 5th string, ring fingers on the 9th fret 4th string, pinkies on the 9th fret 3rd string, middles on the 8th fret 2nd string, and then barring to get my 7th fret on the 1st string. And then for E, you could have your low E string ringing if you'd like. Okay, here comes number 7. 1, 2, 3, and 4 E and a 1, 2, 3, and 4. Rest. Okay, let's go to number 8. Now we're going to have an 8-bar progression. We're going to start off D sharp major for bar 1, normal pattern. We'll have normal pattern on bar 2 with a quarter note rest on beat 2. We're going to switch it to a D major, and we'll have normal pattern with a quarter note rest on beat 3. Normal pattern for bar 4. Switch it to a C minor on bar 5. We have our normal pattern. On bar 6, we'll have normal pattern with a quarter note rest on beat 1. And then we'll go to G major with normal pattern with a quarter note rest on beat 4 on that bar 7. And then bar 8 is normal pattern. For our D major bar chord, I'm just going to take my D sharp major down a half step, and same exact shape. So now I have my index on the 5th fret on the 5th string, my ring fingers barring the 7th fret on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, and muting my 1st and 6th string. Okay, for your C minor, I'm just going to do my minor shape off the 5th string, but now I'm based off of the 3rd fret. So I have my index on the 3rd fret 5th string, ring fingers on the 5th fret 4th string, pinkies on the 5th fret 3rd string, middles on the 4th fret 2nd string, and then barring to get my 3rd fret on the 1st string, making contact and muting my low 6th string. Okay, now for G major, I'm going to go to a G major bar chord. I'm just going to pivot down to my low 6th string, and I'm going to do my major bar chord shape. So I've got my index on the 3rd fret 6th string, rings on the 5th fret 5th string, pinkies on the 5th fret 4th string, middle fingers on the 4th fret 3rd string, and then barring to get my 3rd fret on the 2nd and 1st string. Okay, here comes number 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4. E and a. Rest. 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 Okay, for the last one, number 9, we're going to start off with the D sharp minor bar chord. We'll have a whole note for bar 1. We'll have normal pattern on bar 2. We'll have a whole note rest on bar 3, and then we'll switch it to an F major, normal pattern, but with a half note for beats 3 and 4. And then for our F major bar chord, I'm going to just do that same 6-string based major bar chord now off of my 1st fret. So I have my index finger on the 1st fret 6th string, ring fingers on the 3rd fret 5th string, pinkies on the 3rd fret 4th string, middle fingers on the 2nd fret 3rd string, and then barring to get my 1st frets on the 2nd and 1st string. There's your F major. Okay, here comes number 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. 4. Here comes number 9 a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay, for this chapter scales, we're going to talk about D sharp major and D sharp minor. We're also going to connect our scales up to the next position up the neck and start to get to know our whole neck and be fluid with our scales. Okay, let's go ahead and start off with number 1. We're going to talk about a D sharp major scale. Let's talk about the notes. We have a D sharp, F, G, G sharp, A sharp, C, D natural, leading us to a D sharp. And I want to point out, as we're in these keys with a lot of sharps, sometimes they're going to have a repetition of one note. It might be like a G to a G sharp, because just we're going to avoid doing things like double sharps and calling out things like B sharp, more just like the actual natural notes that we're playing. Okay, let's go ahead and do this scale. I'm going to give you 3 notes to lead up to our G sharp. So on your 6th string, we'll go 6 to 8, and then on the 5th string, 5th fret, and that'll take us to our D sharp. On our 6th fret, on the 5th string, from here we'll go to our 8th fret. On the 4th string, it's a 5, 6, 8. 3rd string is a 5, 7, 8. 2nd string is a 6, 8, 9. And then your 1st string, we're going to go 6, 8, 10, 11. And right here is your 2nd octave D sharp. Okay, bringing it back down, we'll go 10, 8, 6. And then we'll go 2nd string, 9, 8, 6. 3rd string, 8, 7, 5. 4th string, 8, 6, 5. And then we'll take it down to the root, just 8 to 6 on your 5th string. Okay, now here's quarter notes going up the D sharp major scale right from the root. 3, 4. Okay, now I always recommend to work our 4 basic rhythms. We'll do quarter notes, 8th notes, 8th note triplets, and 16th notes. For 8th notes, we could do 2 on each note or just 1 on each note. I'm going to use my metronome, and I'm just going to do 1 on each note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, for eighth note triplets, you could do 3 on each note or just 1. I'm going to do 3 on each note. 1, 2, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, for 16th notes, you could do 4 on each note or just 1. I'm going to do 1 on each note. 1, 2, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. For number 2, we're going to take our D sharp major scale up a position. So we're going to go up to our higher notes and climb up kind of into our 8th position. So use your index finger and we'll go on the 5th string 6 to 8. Now we're in our 8th position. From here we'll go 10 and 11. So here's that move on the 5th string, index, index, and then you can go ring and pinky to get your 10 and 11. Okay, now on your 4th string we'll go 8 to 10. On the 3rd string, 7, 8, 10. 2nd string, 8, 9, 11. And then on the 1st string, 8, 10, 11. Okay, bringing it back down, we'll go 10 to 8 on the 1st string. 11, 9, 8, 2nd string. 10, 8, 7 on the 3rd string. 10, 8 on the 4th string. And then on the 5th string, we'll go 11, 10, 8, 6. Okay, now I also put in parentheses in this position on our 6th string. If we just want to climb it all the way down to the note C, on the 6th string we can go 11, 10, 8. Okay, now I also want to point out, as we're going to start learning about our relative majors and minors, in the key of D sharp, we're also playing the same notes of a C minor scale. So you can also think of this position just as C minor. So if I start off my C minor scale, 8, 10, 11, I'm basically just running my C minor at that point. So the relative minors and majors really help me memorize the neck and use it to kind of help with these positions and chunks of the neck. Okay, now for number 2, I'm just going to play the scale up quarter notes, and I'm going to recommend also definitely work your other 3 main rhythms. Okay, here comes quarter notes for number 2. 3, 4. So for number 3A, we're going to go on our 6th string, 6, 8, 10, 11, 10, 8. For B, we'll go up our 5th string, we'll go 5, 6, 8, 10, 8, 6. For C, we'll go on our 4th string, 5, 6, 8, 10, 8, 6. For number 4A, we'll go on the 3rd string, 5, 7, 8, 10, 8, 7. For B, we'll go on the 2nd string, 6, 8, 9, 11, 9, 8. And then for C, on the 1st string, we'll go 6, 8, 10, 11, 10, 8. Okay, for number 5, we're going to ascend in our 5th position, and then we'll take it all the way up to our highest note on the 1st string, and then descend it in 8th position. Here we go. 3, 4. And then for number 6, we're going to ascend in 8th position. We'll take it up to our highest note and then descend it down our 1st string into descending on the 5th position. 3, 4. for number one, we're going to look at a D sharp minor scale. To make our scale minor, we're going to take that major scale and flat the 3rd, 6th, and 7th. So now our notes are going to be a D sharp, F, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, C sharp, leading us back to a D sharp. Okay, now I'm going to lead up to the note D sharp with our lower notes on the 6th string. So on your 6th string, to start off the scale, we'll go a 6, 7, 9. And then that'll take us to our D sharp. Now from here, we'll go 6, 8, 9 on the 5th string, 6, 8, 9 on the 4th string, 6, 8 on your 3rd string, 6, 7, 9 on the 2nd string, and then on the 1st string, we'll go 6, 7, 9, 11. And there's your 2nd octave D sharp. Okay, taking it back down, we'll go 9, 7, 6, 1st string, 9, 7, 6, 2nd string, 8, 6, 3rd string, 9, 8, 6, 4th string, and then 9, 8, 6 on your 5th string. Okay, now here's quarter notes going up and down this scale. I'm going to bypass the other rhythms, but I definitely recommend work those two. 3, 4. Okay, now for number two, we're going to, again, connect up to the next higher position. So for this one, we're going to climb it up into 8th position, and I'm going to use my index finger just to hit a 6 to the 8th fret on the 5th string. Okay, now from here, we're going to start to ascend in 8th position. So from here, we'll go to our 9th and 11th fret. So on the 1st string, on your 5th string again, that'll be a 6, 8, 9, 11. Okay, now on your 4th string, we'll go 8, 9, 11. On the 3rd string, we'll go 8, 10, 11. 2nd string, 9, 11, 12. And then on the 1st string, it's a 9, 11, 13. And just want to point out that we're going a little bit higher than our D sharp for this one. Okay, now descending, we'll go 11, 9, 1st string. 12, 11, 9, 2nd string, 11, 10, 8 on the 3rd string, 11, 9, 8 on the 4th string, and then on your 5th string, we'll go 11, 9, 8, 6. Okay, now here's that scale with quarter notes, 3, 4. I also want to point out that there's a couple notes lower in our position we just played, so you can also go 11 to 9 on your 6th string, and that'll take us down to a C sharp, as opposed to taking it down to your D sharp root. Okay, I also want to point out, as we're talking about relative majors and minor, the relative major to your minor key is built off the 3rd. So if I play a D sharp minor scale, my F sharp is my relative major. So when we climb up into this next position, you can also think of it as an F sharp major scale. And that also kind of helps me to memorize some of those positions. Okay, for number 3, we're going to start to connect on one string. So on your 6th string, we're going to go 6, 7, 9, 11, 9, 7. For B, on the 5th string, we're going to go 6, 8, 9, 11, 9, 8. For C, we're going to go to the 4th string, 6, 8, 9, 11, 9, 8. For number 4, on the 3rd string, we're going to go 6, 8, 10, 11, 10, 8. For B, on the 2nd string, we're going to go 6, 7, 9, 11, 12, 9, 7. And then on the 1st string, for C, we're going to go 6, 7, 9, 11, 13, 11, 9, 7. Okay, for number 5, we're going to ascend in our 6th position and then descend in our 8th position. And we're just going to climb up on that 1st string to the highest note, and that'll start to descend us in that 8th position. Okay, here we go. 3, 4. Okay, for number 6, we're going to ascend in the 8th position, take it up to our highest note, and then take it down on the 1st string, and then to descend in 6th position. Here we go. 3, 4. Okay, I always recommend to jam your chords and scales. So now we have another position to have some fun in. I'm going to go ahead and play a D sharp major chord and then jam on some D sharp major scales. Here we go. 3, 4. Some chords, some scale. Back to some chords. Some more scale. Okay, now I'm going to jam on a D sharp minor chord and play some D sharp minor scales. Some chords, some scales. Okay, for this chapter study, we're going to talk about thirds and fourths, and we're going to be doing some double stops where we'll be playing 2 notes on 2 different strings. And last chapter, we talked about the names of the different intervals. So as we're going to go through the next chapter studies, we'll talk about the larger intervals, but we're going to start off with thirds and fourths for today. These shapes will pretty much be universal on our 6th and 5th strings, our 5th and 4th strings, the 4th and 3rd string, and then the 2nd and 1st string. Once we get to our 3rd and 2nd string, we'll have some different shapes because of the tuning. Okay, I just want to point out the different shapes for thirds. As we're going on our low 6th string, if we have a major third, it's going to be 1 fret difference. And let's say if I'm going my 3rd and my 2nd fret, that's an example of a major third interval. When we climb up to a 5 and a 3, I'm now going back a full step for that 2nd higher note. That's what we call a minor third. Okay, now for fourths, if we hit something on the same fret, we call that a perfect fourth on these particular 2 strings. And let's say if we do have that tritone shape, that's what we call the sharp 4. It's also called a flat 5 or a tritone. But that's going to be the shape for that particular interval. Okay, for number 1, we're going to harmonize a G major scale on your 6th and 5th string in thirds, and let's go ahead and start the process. For these intervals, I'm going to be calling them out from the lower string to the higher string. So I'll say 2 and open, and that would be 2nd fret on the 6th string, and then open 5th string. For fingers, you could use your index if you like for that one. Okay, now the next one's going to be a 3 and a 2, and I would recommend a middle and an index for that shape. Okay, the next one's going to be a 5 and a 3. I'm going to my ring and index for this. And I just want to point out, you can also use your middle and index too. So check into both of these concepts, see what you like. Sometimes I might use both fingerings depending on sometimes how fast the riff's going to be. Okay, next one is a 7 and a 5. Then we're going to go up to an 8 and a 7, a 10 and a 9, 12 and a 10, 14 and a 12, 15, 14, 17, 15, and then I'm going to max it out at my 19, 17. On acoustic, it's going to be a little tricky to get up to these high notes, so just play it up to where it's comfortable. And on electric, if you want to go even up higher, feel free to do that too. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and run these thirds. I'm going to take them up and back down. Here we go. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at number 2. Now we're going to do the same scale, but we're going to harmonize in fourths. And you're going to see with fourths, sometimes we're going to be just using one finger to bar to get our fourth shape. And then sometimes we're going to have a sharp 4 or a tritone or flat 5, either way you want to call it, interval where we're going to have a different shape, and that's just as we harmonize the scale. Okay, let's go ahead and start off. We're always going to hit our lowest notes we can on our string. So we'll have our open 6, open 5th string. Okay, now we're going to go 2-2, and I'm just going to use my index. And that's a pretty good example of the 4th shape we're going to be using. It's just the same frets on 2 different strings. Now we'll go 3-3, 5-5, 7-7. Okay, now we're going to have an 8 and a 9, and that'll show you that tritone shape. Okay, keep on going. We'll have a 10-10, 12-12, 14-14, 15-15, 17-17, and then 19-19. Okay, here's fourths, climbing up these strings. 3, 4. Okay, let's take it to number 3. Now we're going to climb up our 5th and 4th string, and we're going to harmonize the D minor scale. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to have a 1 and an open. So I got my 1st fret on the 5th string, open 4th string. Okay, now we'll go 3-2, 5-3, 7-5, 8-7, 10 and 8, 12 and 10, 13-12, 15-14, 17-15, and then we'll max it out at a 19-17. Okay, here comes some thirds in D minor. Okay, now we're going to harmonize D minor in fourths for number 4. We're going to start off open, open. Then we'll have a 1 and a 2. There's that tritone. 3-3, 5-5, 7-7, 8-8, 10-10, 12-12. Now, as the guitar repeats, there's that tritone again. 13-14, 15-15, 17-17, and then 19-19. Okay, here comes number 4. 3, 4. Okay, let's take it to number 5. Now we're going to harmonize C major on our 2 middle strings, the 4th and the 3rd string. Okay, let's go ahead and start off with some thirds. We're going to go 2 and open, to a 3 and a 2, 5 and a 4, 7 and a 5, 9-7, 10 and a 9, 12-10, 14-12, 15-14, 17-16, and then a 19-17. Okay, here we go. 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to do fourths in C major on these same two strings for number 6. We're going to start off open, open, 2, 2. Here's that tritone. It's a 3, 4. We'll go 5, 5, 7, 7, 9, 9, 10, 10, 12, 12, 14, 14. Here's that tritone again for a 15, 16, 17, 17, and then 19, 19. Okay, here goes fourths, up and down, 3, 4. Okay, for the second part of the study, we're going to climb up and down our third and second string. Now I mentioned that the shapes will be a little different for here, so let's go ahead and check them out and we'll note those differences. Now for A minor going up in thirds, we're going to start off with an open, open, and that, just so you know, that's a major third interval using our open strings. Okay, for the next one we're going to go 2 and 1, and that's the shape of a minor third on your third and second string. Okay, for the next one we're going to go up to a 4 and a 3, 5 and a 5, 7 and a 6, 9, 8, 10, 10, 12, 12. Again, showing that major third shape. 14, 13, 16, 15, 17, 17, 19, 18. Here's thirds going up and down the second and third string. 3, 4. Okay, now I also want to point out for some of these shapes, you can use middle and index for your minor thirds. You can also experiment using ring and middle. It's another great way to play your minor thirds, and sometimes it just depends on the movement of the thirds. It might dictate which might be some good fingers for that. Okay, for number 2, we're going to go up the same 2 strings with fourths this time, and we'll note the difference in our fourth shape now. Okay, starting off with an open and a 1. That's our new perfect 4 shape. Okay, now as we go up to 2 and 3, you're going to see this shape start to pop in now. So what we used to do on just one fret on our 2 different strings, now we just climb up a fret for the higher note. Okay, going up to a 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now here's the tritone, 10 and 12. Notice a little different shape for the tritone. Okay, up to a 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 18, and then up to a 19, 20. Okay, here they go up and down. Okay, for number 3, we're going to go to the 2 high strings, our second and our first string, and we're going to do E major in thirds, starting off with the 2 and an open. Now you're going to start to see the first shapes we used. We're going to go to a 4 and a 2, 5, 4, 7, 5, 9, 7, 10, 9, 12, 11, 14, 12, 16, 14, 17, 16, into a 19, 17. Okay, here's thirds going up and down. Okay, for number 4, we're going to do fourths going up and down that E major scale. We're going to start off open, open. Now we're back to our familiar fourth shape for these. So we're going to go 2, 2, 4, 4, 5, 5, 7, 7, 9, 9. Okay, here's the tritone, 10 and 11, 12, 12, 14, 14, 16, 16, 17, 17, and then 19, 19. Okay, here's fourths going up and down. 3, 4. Okay, for number 5 and 6, I'm just going to do some licks using some thirds and fourths. Some of these are some really fun lingo we use in guitar, especially bluesy kind of things and soulful music. Recommend definitely keep your ears open. You'll start to hear some of these sounds in some of the songs you like. Okay, for number 1, we're going to do kind of a classic lick in E7. I'm going to hammer on my first fret on the 3rd string, and I'm going to hit my open 2nd string at the same time, so it's going to be like a. You can do that with your middle finger or your index. Okay, now we're going to go up to a 3rd. It's going to be a 2-2 on your 2nd and 3rd string. I'm just using my index for that. Up to a 4-3, and I'm going to go middle and index for that. Cool. Now if I take this lick up and down, it'll be like. Hear lots of different variations on rhythmic playing and different ways to phrase this, but that one's a classic. Okay, let's take it to 5B. We're going to do a little A major with some thirds. We're going to start off with a 5-4, down to a 3-2, into a 2 open, and then back up to a 3-2, to a 5-4. Okay, for C, we're going to do a G minor riff. We're going to start off open, open on the 4th and 3rd string, up to your 3-3 on the same 2 strings, and then we'll slide from 3-3 to 5-5. So this is like almost getting a little smoke on the water-ish. Okay, for number 6A, we're going to do some thirds in D major. We're going to start off on the 5th string and the 4th string with a 5 and a 4. Go up to a 7-5, up to a 9-7, down to a 4-2, and then back up to a 5-4. Okay, here's A. Okay, for B, we're going to do a lick in G major. We're going to start off on the 2 low strings, your 5th and your 6th string. We're going to go 7-5 to a 6-4, back up to your 7-5, and to a 10-10. This one's going to incorporate just a half-step chromatic lick. Okay, for the last one, C, we're going to do an A minor lick, and we're going to have some fourths and thirds in this one. So on your 2 high strings, we're going to go 5-5, 3-3, back to 5-5, to a 10-8, and then way up to a 13-12. Okay, here's this one. Okay, that'll do it for this chapter. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you for chapter 11. Rock on.